How's it going, everybody? This is Dominic Minchella, joined with Zach Gilbert. We are your Kansas City Chiefs on SI co-beat writers. While Zach is doing the everything on the ground, boots on the ground, I'm here delivering the podcast to you guys. And going forward, we are going to be having Zach 2 times on the show. Super excited about that. Zach, since no one really knows you on the podcast, then we've got to get to know you a little bit. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the experience that you bring covering the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, thanks, Dom. It's great to be with you and join you here, and I'm excited to join you twice a week moving forward throughout the season. I've always been a big NFL person. I've actually made a very unique jump recently here in joining on SI. I was on the team and league side for a long time, 30 years in sports and 18 years in the NFL. I worked for 4 different teams as well as the league office. So I have a lot of experience on that side of it. And now I'm getting to see it on the other side. I spent so long working for the teams with the media, and now I work with the media for the team. So I'm sorry, I work for the media with the team, I should say. And so that's me. I'm really excited. I've been here for a little bit more than a week now, and really excited to keep going and bringing you the best coverage of the Chiefs.
Awesome. Yeah, so Zach has been there inside the building covering the Chiefs since the second preseason game. And now that the Chiefs and the rest of the preseason has kind of concluded as we get into the regular season, we were going to break down some of the preseason takeaways that we both have, thinking about how the Kansas City Chiefs look going into the regular season against their AFC West division rivals. So the first question that what I've talked about on the podcast before is, do you think that there should be any panic within Kansas City and their fandom, given that they've lost 3 of their 3 preseason games as well as their Super Bowl game? They've been on a losing streak, even though that, the team on paper, at least their starters, they're still the team to beat in the AFC. Tell me your thoughts.
No, absolutely not. No worries whatsoever. The Super Bowl obviously was the biggest loss out of that group. In fact, if you point to last season, the Chiefs were winless in the preseason. They were 0-3, and then they proceeded to win 15 out of the 16 games that they were trying to win. They went 15-2, including a loss in that meaningless season finale in Denver. So, no, absolutely not. In fact, the first teamers looked outstanding in that last preseason game against Chicago, as everyone saw. So, no, not worried at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that the only concern that I touched on this on the podcast yesterday was about how the defense looked, at least in their depth, especially in the latter halves of the games against the Seahawks and against the Bears. But then it's also at the same time you got to trust their recent track record until they've proven to be the guy, and to be the guy, you got to beat the guy, especially for the Kansas City Chiefs. But about the Chicago Bears games, now that you were there, being able to watch Patrick Mahomes when he was out there, and I know that everyone loves to listen and hear about Patrick Mahomes. What were your thoughts about Mahomes getting out there, going two for 2 in his preseason drives, ending with a touchdown?
Yeah, I thought he looked outstanding. I think he actually wrote a story on this. There were 4 plays in that game where he could have actually improved his statistical showing. There was one there where it was the first pass of the game, the second play where Rashee Rice was absolutely mugged by the Chicago defender there, and drew both a face mask as well as a defensive pass interference penalty there. But on that play, you had Tyquan Thornton wide open on the other side, and he could have hit a deep ball in the first passing play of the game. So there were 3 other examples like that where he really could have really helped himself. But no, I think Patrick he looks more than ready to go. And I know Andy Reid decided to change things up this year in the past seasons, from what I understand, Patrick has not played in the preseason finale, but this year he opted to rest most of the starters in that preseason week 2 and then play them in this last one. And the other thing I'll mention is that Patrick, after the game, said that getting that deep ball back in the Chiefs' offense, that explosiveness, even when they try it and they don't complete that pass, it's still important because it opens up the rest of the offense. And you saw that in the Chicago game where Travis Kelce had a couple of pretty good catches, including a 20-yard completion there, 20 air yards on a deep corner route there. So I think all in all, they look fantastic, and I'm excited to see what they can do against the Chargers.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I was very impressed with the last game with Tyquan Thornton. I think 58 receiving yards in that one deep pass, I believe. I mean, he looks. Hopefully, he's able just to carry that momentum from the preseason into helping the the team and whichever that be, if it's either on special teams or if it's on the receiving side of the ball. I think that there's a lot of the young talent in the wide receiving room that's been so competitive that's only going to kind of help fuel the fire of a revenge season, so to say.
Yeah, Taekwon has had a great camp, and what a fantastic pickup by Brett Veach. He actually joined the team last year, late in the season as a practice squad signee, and then they re-signed him after the Super Bowl. But yeah, he's been very strong, and I think that'll be one thing that people look back on the Chiefs here, maybe when we get to the bye week in mid-season, and they realize that the personnel staff did such a fine job in really landing some of those players like Tyquan Thornton.
Yeah, for sure. So we're gonna wrap up with the first podcast with Zach just by asking the expectations that you have. It's a little thing that I do on the podcast, talking about the expectations, whether it be for a player or for the season. But now with the first week coming up relatively soon in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I want to know some of the things or the expectations, whether it be from a player's performance, or just what you're hoping to see from the Kansas City Chiefs in week 1. And then after that, we'll wrap this thing on up.
I would expect to see Travis Kelce really break out and have a much better year than what he had last year. And I'll tell you that there is a source. I will quote a source very close to the situation, and talked to him last night, and that was his dad, Ed Kelce, who came
Oh,
out and
sweet.
he made a bold prediction last night. There was a red carpet at the Kauffman Center here in Kansas City where they were showing the official premiere of the ESPN docu-series, The Kingdom. And Ed was there along with Donna Kelce. And Ed said, "Hey, I'll give you a bold prediction." He said that Travis Kelce is going to have one of the best years that he's ever had. And he that's not just a fatherly bias there. He said he's been really watching him closely as he worked out in Florida there. And I think the GQ cover story that came out a couple weeks ago really detailed that. If you want to go online and check that out, but yeah, that's my expectation that if you are a fantasy manager, you want to get Travis Kelce pretty early because I believe he's going to have a bounce back year.
Well, that's awesome because I think the fans would, if this is Kelsey's final year, it would be better for him to ride off into the sunset, whether it be in the regular season or the Super Bowl. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude today's podcast. As always, be sure you follow me on X at Dom Minchella. You can also follow Zach at Zach S. Gilbert over on X, where we post and repost every single day. You're not going to want to miss any coverage. We will be bringing you the most up-to-date news for the Kansas City Chiefs. You can also follow us at KC Chiefs on SI for our main Twitter page. All of the content exclusively free to you. Zach, thank you guys so much for, showing up today, and we hope to hear from you again soon, man.
Yeah, great to be with you today, Dom. Looking forward to it.
All righty, folks. As always, be kind to one another, and I'll see you tomorrow.